It's irrational, but I heard this over and over in just post-game coverage, and it just irritated the crap out of me.
Oh, boy.
When people would say, and the Washington franchise will go to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1993. And I'm like, are we really ruminating over how much their fans have suffered? Are we really pointing out that it's Washington's fans that have had a long wait? Is this really something I want to hear right now about? It's been so long for Washington since they've been at an NFC title game. Get bent. I don't want to hear that at all. I don't want, they've waited? They've waited a long time?
It is a long time.
Who cares how long they have waited?
Well, we've waited a year.
Is it? But they've had success. That organization has had success. That team has won Super Bowls. That team's gone to Super Bowls. That fan base has seen stuff we have never seen. I don't want to hear how long it's been for them or anyone for that matter. It's irrational. But I am triggered by
Fair
it.
enough.
I hate it.
I'm glad you say it's irrational.
I know it's irrational.
It's irrational.
But it gets underneath my skin that anyone wants to talk about how long some other fan base has waited.
I'm debating whether or not to bring up certain points in defense of that and get in defense of Washington, but I won't. I'm just going to sit quiet.
Yeah, if it were something where I was saying people shouldn't be saying that, you can say whatever you want.
All right, I'll be quiet.
I find it irritating as hell.
That's
to be hearing about somebody else's fan base has waited. Don't talk to us about waiting. It's not rational, but God, it drives me nuts.
Change in ownership, maybe the scandals.
248-539-9797. Don't.
They tried to take our offensive coordinator, Doug.
Yeah. Let's go to Wayne next on 97.1 The Ticket. Hi, Wayne.
Gentlemen, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm not a Lions fan, so I'm going to be kind of objective here. My team's putting on the scarlet and gray tonight. The Lions,
not the time.
The SOL does not apply. First off.
What's that? What doesn't apply?
SOL.
Okay, good. All right, next. Yeah.
Secondly, I think Campbell is a great motivational coach, but I don't know how much on game day is not Glennon Johnson as opposed to him. And my third comment is I just don't think Goff is a big game quarterback. I could be proven wrong in the future, but McVay got rid of him for a reason.
Did they beat the Rams last year in the playoffs?
Was that a big game?
Yeah, was that a big game? Did
they beat
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year in the playoffs? Was that a big game?
Yeah.
Did they beat Minnesota the last game of the season to make sure that they would clinch the number one seed and win the division? Was that a big game?
Minnesota sucks.
Okay. You know what? You just lost it. You lost all credibility there, buddy.
Jared Goff has won an NFC Championship game.
Right.
I mean, he's won.
If you want to question whether or not you think, look, I'll listen to lots of stuff. All right. You want to say, I'm a Jared Goff guy, but if you're not, you don't think that he's the right guy and you think that, okay, hey, look what happened Saturday. You could say, you want to say he folded under pressure through a couple of terrible interceptions and the fumble. You can't have that. And his team, they rallied. It was 31-28 and then they couldn't get it done. Okay. I'll listen to it all. But to say that you're going to say he can't win a big game and he's won countless big games, and then you're going to crap on the head coach and say that you're only going to prop up the coordinators, which is ridiculous because this is Dan Campbell's baby. These players buy into everything because of Campbell. You say, well, he's a great motivator. You're damn right he's a great motivator. That's coaching. And part of coaching is also delegating your powers and letting your defensive coordinator cook.
Hiring a staff.
Hiring that staff, yes. And understanding when things aren't working, you have to make changes like firing Anthony Lynn or demoting Anthony Lynn and then ultimately firing him and turning things over to a tight ends coach. Or looking at your defense and saying, we're not getting enough out of this. And then the defense, then they make a couple of changes in their staff. He's a hell of a coach. They've won 27 regular season games in the last 2 seasons. Right? They won 35 of their last, 44 regular season games. That's impressive. So don't come out here saying that Dan Campbell isn't a good coach. It's his coordinators. And if you want to debate Goff, we can have a normal debate, but I'd rather not.
This is one of those things, and I've seen this for years. The only big games are the ones you lose.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, he can't win a big game. They've won so many big games. And he has won an NFC Championship game. He has won multiple playoff games. And by he, I mean he's quarterback teams that have won those. He did not have his best game. Period. No debating that.
Well, I wonder if his team doesn't win tonight, will he be, saying that same thing about Ryan Day, that he can't win big games?
Rick is on a cell and next. Hello, Rick.
Hey, how are you today?
Okay.
Good. Yeah, they panned Goff right off the bat, on the TV there, and he looked so flat and out of it. I looked at my buddy that I was watching the game with. I says, Detroit's going to lose. He didn't look like he had the killer instinct, at that time. He just looked really flat and out of it.
Well, it's hard not to wonder if that killer instinct literally left his soul when he got smoked after the pick six. That shot that he took, was it from Lutu that hit him?
Yeah.
Just absolutely helmet-to-helmet hit. He left the game very briefly and then was able to come back. But I got to wonder what was going on there.
I mean, I always say the same thing about when you see a cutaway shot or one shot of a guy on TV. It's a snapshot in time, and Jared Goff is on that field for 3 hours, and you see a one look on his face and draw a conclusion. I hesitate to do it because it is literally a snapshot in time and a long day.
What I will guarantee you about Jared Goff is he takes it very personally when he doesn't play well. And I think he was incredibly frustrated and disappointed with himself for mistakes that happened.